29th of August, Rabbi Levitt, Gemora.
5 minutes early tonight.
Okay. So here we are on Chesamid Base. Welcome back to Lou and Alan. And where is Roy? Roy, are you there? Roy's checked out. Okay, but I see him on the participants list. Okay. Okay, so taking a look at this Gemora over here during the halftime break. And I don't know about you, but I'm going to be very interested to see what the Gemora says about this, what Shmuel said, because I can't figure out how it can make any sense at all. So, Bekitzer, let's just review what it is that we got over here so far. We started on the last line of 8a, and we said that Amar Rabbi Yosef says, Amar li Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda told me, what did he tell me? He told me, Shmas minei demar Shmuel, that I heard from Mar Shmuel, that's referring to Shmuel, Tarti, two things. Heard from him two things. What's the two things? Rachuv umanig. I learned from him, he talked about two dinim of the rider and the leader. Chad kone v'chad lo kone. And one of them he said was kone, and the other one he said was not. V'lo yadana heimanayu. And I do not know, says Rav Yehuda, I do not know which one from the two of them he meant to say is kone. Okay, so in the backdrop over here, my problem is that if you'll take a look in the Mishnah says, if you want to take a look, you can take my word for it. The Mishnah says that hayu shnaim rochvim al gabe behema, two riding on a behema. Oh, haya echad rochev ve'echad manhig. One was riding, and the second one was manhig, was leading. Each one of them says that the whole animal's mine. The din is they both got to make a shvua, and we say yachloku. So what does that mean? That means to say that the Mishnah is prepared to give a kinyan to both of them, to award a portion of the behemoth to both of them. Just a second. Ken Rav Lieberman, Shalom. Shalom, מה שלומך? כן, אני אחרי מנחה, אתה אפשר? או קודם מנחה, 12:30, משהו כזה? אז אני בשירה עכשיו עד 12:30. אני בבית. כן, על הזום. כן, כן. מתי נוח לך? 12:30? אחרי מנחה בקהילס יעקב? איזה מקום אתה רוצה? אוקיי, בסדר. מצוין, אז נהיה בקשר. אני איך שנוח לך, תהיה בקשר. כן, Mitsuyan. Toda Rabba. Scale mitzvot. Call to. Okay, sorry. All right. Okay. I was in the middle of telling you what the problem was. The problem is it would seem like the Mishnah says that when you got each one of them, a rochev, and you also got a manhig, the Mishnah says that they both get. So it sounds like, according to the Mishnah, that both of them are kona. And here we got Shmuel saying, "Oh no, one of them is kona and the other one's not." So that's just the backdrop of the statement of Shmuel. We got to figure out what is the Mishnah talking about, where both of them are kona, both of them are awarded a chelik of the behema, and what Shmuel is talking about when he says one of them is kona and the other one is not. That's what we got to figure out. Okay. Now, so yesterday we got up to Amr of Yosef, and basically what we have is what the Gemora said so far is that if you want to say they're by themselves, that's what Shmuel was talking about, that they're by themselves. So then he says, look, a manhig by himself leading the animal, that for sure is a kinyan meshicha. So how could you say he's not kona? It must be that the manhig is kona and the rochev is not, if he's riding by himself. So therefore the Gemora said, oh, so let's say we're talking about a case where you got both of them. You got both of them. Rochov bimkom manhig iboile. You got a case where they're coming before the Bezdin, Rashi says, and one is riding on the animal and the other one is leading the animal, and they're both claiming the animal. So we want to know, what's the din in that case? Do we say in that case that the Rachov is Adiv, that the Rachov is the one that gets the nod over here? Because remember, Shmuel said only one of them is Kona and the other one is not. Why is he Kona? Because the toughest, he's the one who's toughest in the animal. He's not grabbing the animal by the neck, but riding on it is regarded as being he's grabbing on. He's got some hand on the animal, the handle on the animal. Or do we say Dilma Manig Adif? Maybe the one that's leading is Adif, like we said before, the Oslo Machmasa, because the animal is being caused to uproot its feet and walk based upon the leading of the manhig. And if so, then that's a Pashat Kinyan Mashicha, like we said before. That for sure is a Kinyan if he'd be by himself. So maybe he also is Kona, even when there's a Rochev on top of the animal too. And then just remember, we got to figure out, if so, what's the Mishnah talking about when we award both of them a chelik in the animal? It's got to be a different case than what Shmuel's talking about. Okay, so now that we know all of that, let's take a look further in the Gemora. Amr of Yosef. And Amr of Yosef can be found
1, right-hand column, last paragraph.
Very good. Thank you, Lou. And we go to Alan.
What page is that again? I missed that.
B1, right-hand paragraph, right-hand column, last paragraph.
The Gemara records Rav Yehuda's own attempt to resolve the uncertainty. Is that it?
That's it.
Okay. Omar Rav Yosef, Omar Li Rav Yehuda. Rav Yosef related Rav Yehuda's. How Rav Yehuda said to me, Zay Anan. Let us see if we can determine how Shmuel ruled from a different statement of his. Disnan, for we have learned in the Mishnah, Hamana Hig, Sofeg, S, or aim. If one leads a team of animals consisting of Kalayim, he receives 40 lashes for transgressing a scriptural prohibition. Shave, Koron, so Fang S, or our Boim, and if one sits in a wagon attached to a Kalayim, he receives 40 lashes. Rabbi Umer, Poter S, Yoshev, Bakaron. Rabbi Meir exempts the one sitting in a wagon. Rabbi Huda now quotes Shmuel's revision of the Mishnah to prove how he ruled on the original question. Omi di Shmuel, and from the fact that Shmuel switched the statements of the Tanna Kama and Rav Meir and taught the Mishnah as follows. Chormim Poterin S. Yoshev Koron, but the sages exempt the one sitting in a wagon. Shema Minor. You can learn from this that according to Shmuel, Rachon Di Lo Koni, even someone riding alone without a leader does not acquire. Bechor Shekain Rachuv Bimakom Manahid, and surely not a rider in the presence of a leader. Accordingly, Rav Yehuda argues that Shmuel must have ruled that even riding alone does not constitute a valid kinyan, but leading does.
Okay, good. Let's see Rashi over here. We're up to, assuming that we read all the Rashis up until here. I don't know whether we did or not. Did we?
I don't know. Which Rashi is it starting at?
The Rashi that for today would be Nechse Anan. That's the first thing that Amar Rav Yosef, Amar Li Rav Yehuda said. Nechse Anan. Let's see. It's about Mamish in the middle of the narrow lines of Rashi.
I don't. Not the old
right
Dilma.
across from what?
Did this old Dilma Adif of Zacha Mimana? Didn't we do that? Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, that was the last. That was the. Okay, yeah, that makes sense that we did it yesterday because that's what we read up to in the Gemora. I didn't remember whether we read the Rashi together with the Gemora, but that's the Gemora's question now. If you got both of them together, one's riding and one's leading, who's the one that's going to be Kona? Only one Shmuel said is going to be Kona. Do we say the rider is Kona because he's holding on to the animal, so to speak? Or do we say that the manig is Kona because he's the one that's causing the animal to take steps forward, and that's a Kinyan Mashiach for sure.
That one says the Hiha Gadol, but there's two dots in the middle. It doesn't read the whole thing. The Hiha Gadol in the Kinyan. He's the one who has who's the bigger one to make the Kinyan.
Vehi Hagadola Bekinyan.
He's the one who has the
Yeah,
stronger.
Yeah. Right. He's the right. It's interesting. Yeah.
Gedola. Who's that referring to?
In the Rashi, the manhig, the leader, the one riding, the one leading the wagon or the horse. That person.
Right.
That's
right.
a manhig. The manhig is the one who's leading the animal, and the rochav is the one who's just riding on the animal. So you'd say if he's just riding on it, he doesn't have control of it. The manhig has control. He's leading it along. So he has a much stronger case because he's moving the animal. He's actually doing mashiach because he's pulling the animal.
Yeah.
Or can we say maybe that's not true? Maybe it's the rider who's causing the animal to move and the manhig is just walking along with it?
Well, he wouldn't be a manhig if he was just walking
Yeah,
along.
what's the manik doing then?
The manhig has
Along
to be
the animal.
He's not just with the animal. He's manhig the animal. He's pulling it along.
And it makes more sense to say that the rider is just riding. He's not doing anything. And the manhig is the only reason why the manhig would be there altogether is because he's doing something to cause the animal to go. If he's not causing the animal to go, if the rider is causing the animal to go, then what do we need the manhig to be there for altogether? If the manhig is leading, so we still understand why the rider is there. He's riding. He's getting a free ride. but if the rider is getting a free ride and he's also leading, so then we don't need a manhig. What's the manhig doing there, b'chalal? Just standing there and smiling for the pictures. That's what. It's okay. Even the Gemora is only tzad to say that the rochev, that the rider would be the one who's kona, is because he's tofes in the animal, not because he's causing the animal to go. If you take a look at the words before Rav Yosef, we said maybe the rochev is adif, the ha tofes ba, because he's tofes in the animal. It's considered to be that he's got his hold on the animal, so to speak, because of the fact that he is riding the animal. But the Gemara says that the manhig, the reason that he would get the kinyan over here is because the ozle machmasa, because the animal is moving along because of him. Because that's the question that the Gemara had. Okay. So now, okay, so let's see what Rashi says over here. Next, say Anan. Do you want to read?
Let us see. Is lon the mifarish the shot me mush sa damar Shmuel the high Meinaihu Amar. So there is for you to explain the derivation of the master Shmuel, Mar Shmuel, that this between them is this is stated between them.
From which one of them Amar did he refer to, speak about?
In other words, which one is he talking about when he says one of them acquires?
Yeah.
Okay. So that doesn't help.
We're going to, yeah, he's just explaining what's the next say Anand. Let's see. What is it that we're gonna see over here? So Rashi tells us the simple understanding of what it is that Rav Yosef Amar Rav Yehuda said we're gonna see over here. We're gonna see which way, which was the one that Shmuel said is the one that's kona between the two of them?
Okay, and Hamanhig is a bit of Bashor or Chamor with an ox or a donkey. That's what he's
Together, actually.
together. He's leading them together.
Yeah, because this what we're talking about over here. If you take a look, you probably see in your Gemora. This is a Mishnah in Maseches Klayim.
Ah.
So what's Klayim all about? Forbidden mixtures.
Oh, so maybe we say that the manhig does not kona because he's doing an avera?
No, we're in the Mishnah in Klayim is just talking about not talking about Kinyan. The Mishnah in Klayim is talking about who's going to be chayiv for the avera of plowing with, because the pasuk, you got a pasuk over here that says lo sachrosh b'shor ubechamor yachtov. Don't plow, don't do harisha with a shore and a chamor yachtov together with these two animals. You're not allowed to do that. That's a forbidden mixture. It's a pasuk in the Torah, and you got a Mishnah here in Klayim. And the Mishnah in Klayim is saying, well, what happens if you've got a manhig, somebody who's leading a shore and a chamor together? Is he going to be in violation of this pasuk? And then the Gemora is going to, so the Mishnah says, yeah, he's going to be sofeg arbaim. He's going to get malchus for being in violation of this law of Min Torah. And similarly, the Yoshev is also, or the Yoshev B'Koron, the one who's sitting in the Koron, in the cabin, in the coach. Sofeg es arbaim. Okay, and that's the Tanakama. Then Rebbe says something else, and then the Gemara says Shmuel turned it around. So we're going to infer from the fact that Shmuel turned around the rulings of Rebbe and the Chachamim, what Shmuel is going to hold about our case of Kinyan. So, okay, so that's okay. So that's the Rashi manhig. What's he doing? He's manhig he's manhig b'shor v'chamor. He's leading along a shore and the chamor together. So the Mishnah tells us, according to the Tanakama, he's sofeg arbaim. He gets slashes. And then it said, that's the first din. Din number 2, Yoshev B'Koron, if he's sitting in the agala, that's connected to the yoke, I guess, that the shore and the chamor are pulling the wagon. Sofeg es arbaim. He's also going to get lashes for sitting in the coach. That's the Tanakama. Then Rebbe comes along, not Rebbe, Rebbe Meir. Rebbe Meir says poter. He says no. He says the guy that's sitting in the wagon, he's poter. He's exempt. He's not in violation of any pasuk. Okay. Now before we read the Rashi over here, let's just review what the Gemora says about what Shmuel said about this Mishnah. Ad kan that's the words of the Mishnah in Klayim. Now the Gemara says, Umida apik Shmuel v'tani, since Shmuel turned it around, meaning he turned around the shitas of the Chachamim and Rebbe Meir, and he learned that the Mishnah should read like this. It's a bit of a chiddush that Shmuel's changing around the shitas of the Mishnah. Generally, we don't mess around with the words of a Mishnah. We say the words of the Mishnah are correct. But Shmuel over here is saying otherwise. Shmuel is saying we got to turn around the words. It's the Chachamim that are poter the Yosef B'Koron. They're the ones that exempt the one that's sitting in the wagon, and they're the ones that say that he's poter. And then the Gemara says, Shma Mina, if that's what Shmuel said about the Chachamim, then the Gemara says, according to that, it should follow that Shmuel holds, Shma Mina, we hear a raya, Rachuv L'chude Lo Koneh, that the rider, if he would be riding by himself, an animal, that would not be a kinyan. That would not constitute a kinyan of the animal. And kol shekain rachuv b'mkom manhig. All the more so, he wouldn't be the one who's kona if there was also a manhig together leading the animal.
Okay. I didn't follow the logic of the first step. Why would we say he's not kona if he's riding alone?
Hello. Hello.
Okay, so in other words, what we need to understand, if I understood your question correctly, is what does being in violation of this pasuk in Klayim have to do with the halachas of kinyan?
Exactly.
Okay, good question. I'm not sure that Rashi is going to address that question, but maybe he will. So rather than me trying to guess, let's take a look at what Rashi says over here.
Quote there.
Yeah.
The Savar love miyadei avid.
Oh.
He thought it was not through what's avid.
Lav midi Ovid. He didn't do nothing. Ovid, to do something. But Lav midi. He didn't do nothing. And therefore he's potter in the case of that's why the guy is potter over here.
But he didn't do anything.
Yeah, now who was the one that we said was potter? According to Shmuel, Shmuel says the Chachamim said that the one who is sitting in the karon, he's sitting in the wagon over there, he's just riding, he is patur. He's patur on the din of Klayim over there. It's not called that he's plowing these two animals together because he's not doing anything over here. And so therefore he's going to be patur. So now, we could start to understand what the Gemora is. What's the relevance of this Gemora in Klayim to the matter of kinyan? If you say that it's called that he's doing nothing in the case of Klayim, it's called he's doing nothing. He's riding in the wagon over there. He's doing nothing. If so then let's say the same thing about a guy who's riding on top of the animal. He's doing nothing. And if he's doing nothing, that's not called making a kinyan. That's called doing nothing.
And why do we say he's doing nothing? Because it's an Avera?
Oh, why is it called that he's doing nothing?
Yeah.
I would say because he's just sitting there on top of the animals. He's not doing any plow. He's not causing them to plow. He's not causing them to go. He's not doing anything.
So then my same question, what does this have to do with Klayim?
So just like it's not called, just like we say that, right? What's the getter of the being over on the Avera? The definition of being over the Avera is to be doing an act which is something like working with the animals and plowing the animals together. That's what the pasuk says. Don't plow with these two animals together. So if the guy who's sitting in the wagon is just, it's called that he's just sitting there, he's doing nothing. So he can't. That's why he's putter he's putter in the lav of plowing these two animals together.
So because he's Pater and Kalayim, we know that he's doing nothing, therefore he's not Kona.
So just like we say he's doing nothing, and therefore he's not called that he's plowing the animals, so too, let's say that he's doing nothing and he's not making a kinyan either.
Got it.
Okay, but of course, yeah. Okay, so now we're ready to see what Rashi is going to tell us over here. Mida apik Shmuel chules. So we go to Phil.
Yeah, which Rashi now we're not to meet.
Rashi dibra maskel mida apik Shmuel.
It says apich, the umi da apich Shmuel. Okay, I'm trying to get what apich is. Is Shmuel reverses the things?
Yeah, Shmuel reverses.
Reverses. Mama Milman. There, according to the sphere of Shmuel, the reasoning of Shmuel, a rochev lo midei, a rider is not anything. Ma said he didn't do any act. The rider, he was just in the wagon. He wasn't planting. He wasn't riding. He wasn't leading the horses or planting the climb. He was in the riding. Ma say, yeah. He didn't do any real action. Umushum the yachid, and because an individual, the rabbim and groups, halcha, they go barabim. They go together as they're considered like the rabbim. Not an individual will do something. They're a group.
Mishum the yachid barabim halacha karabim. If you got a machlekes between a yachid and a rabbin, the halacha goes according to the majority.
So then, itcha the Mishnah, you should switch around the Mishnah.
Right.
Okay, establish a Torah that he's pater Rabbanan, like the Rabbanan.
Right. Because the way that our Mishnah reads in Klayim, we've got that the Chachamim are saying that the writer is Sofig Es Arbayim. He's over on the Avera of plowing the shore B'Chamor Yachtov with the two animals together. And it was Rebbe who was the Yachid. He was the one that said that they were pater. So Shmuel says, oh no, the halacha got to follow the Chachamim against Rebbe because we got a klal, says Rashi. That when we got a singular Tana against the Chachamim, against the Rabbim, that's why they're called Chachamim, because there's more than one of them that holds that way. So we say the halacha follows the Chachamim. So therefore Shmuel he switched around the shitas of the Mishnah in Klaim to read that the Chachamim are the ones that say that the writer is pater. Why? Because Shmuel holds that the winning svara over here is that the writer is the one who's doing nothing. And so accordingly, he should be the one that should be pater on the Avera of Klaim, and he should be the one who didn't also likewise, since he did nothing, he made no kinyan.
Excuse me, I'm leaving. I'll try and come in tomorrow. Bye.
Okay, Roy. Yashikoyach.
I have to leave.
All the best. Surah Toibo.
Take care, Roy. And Rabbi, I gotta go also. Meeting with family.
Okay.
And
All the best,
hopefully
Bill. Shabbat shalom.
they go back to school so I won't get disturbed in the middle. Okay, take care.
I figure next week we're back to newsletter.
Not this week, next week, right? The middle of next
Week, yes.
Yeah, okay, thanks, okay. Good, I'll have it, should have it ready. Okay, thanks.
So much.
It is
Hi, Phil.
Wednesday, bye-bye, Shabbat shalom.
All the best. Shabbat shalom. Good Shabbos. Okay. So, yeah, so that's why Rashi says that Shmuel switched it around. Shmuel said we got to switch around the Mishnah to read that it's the Rabbanan, the majority. There's the ones that say that that the writer is Potter.
Well, I'm a little confused. What gives Shmuel the authority to mess with a Mishnah?
Good question. It would seem that the reason why Shmuel is messing with the Mishnah is, without looking at the notes that I got over here, I would say that Shmuel says, look, there ain't no question about this over here. That he was convinced that when you got a writer and a leader, even the writer by himself, if he's just by himself, he's not even competing with the leader. He's regarded as doing nothing. That was what Shmuel held to be the simple Pashut Svara over here that's got a rule in this Mishnah over here. And since Shmuel was so convinced of that, he's got to say that we've got to switch around the opinions, and because we always say that the halacha follows the rabbim against the yachid, even if the yachid is Rabbeinu HaKadosh, who's the redactor of all Shish Sidrei Mishnah, but majority rules. So therefore, Shmuel says that we got to change it around. It's a very unusual Gemora over here. How many times? I mean, oftentimes we're prepared to switch around the words of a brisa. That's, but to switch around the words of a Mishnah, we're very, very reluctant to. But Shmuel felt there's no choice. We got no alternative because it's clear that that's the winning svara over here. But we'll see. Maybe there's other opinions in the Gemora. Maybe the other opinions in the Gemora don't agree to Shmuel, and they want to. And according to that, we don't need to switch around the words of the Mishnah. And by the way, just switching around the shitas, if you think about it for a second, we're not really adding any words or subtracting any words. We're just switching around the names of the shitas. And so that, I think, is the least objectionable change that could be made in a Mishnah. And that's what Shmuel was prepared to do.
Right.
And it could be also that Shmuel, since he knows Kol Torah Kula, right? He knows the opinions of Rebbe all over Shas. He knows that Rebbe is the one that Rebbe's not the one that holds that the writer is Potter. Could be he's got rayas from other places in Shas. Maybe Tosfos is going to weigh in over here. I see that there's Tosfos has got something to say over here. But anyway, that's let's see if I got any notes about this. You might have some notes about this also. Oh, actually, I have a note that the Ramban, he actually says that he says, Gam hayoshev bekoron, gorem lebehema lazuz ma'at. Meaning that also the one who's sitting in the wagon, he really is also causing the animal to move forward somewhat, a little bit. Mochicha hagamor midivrei Shmuel gabi Klein, she'af shedarko shel behema leleches kishe'odem rochev aleha, ein ze nekshab shehi holeches makmato, sharei lefamim odem rochev aleha v'hi eino zaza. Oh, that's rather humorous, actually. He says that it brings from the Gemora, from the words of Shmuel, in this case of Klein, we see that Shmuel switched around the Shittas, that even though it is so, that it is the derech, it's the way of an animal to go simply because it's got a rider that's riding on him. I don't know, the animal, he just goes of his own accord because he knows the rider wants to go somewhere. At any rate, it's not, it doesn't achieve an understanding that we could say to such an extent that on account of the fact that the animal moves, that we could attribute the fact that the animal moves to the fact that the rider is on top of the animal. And you want to know want to know why that's, why? He says, because he says we see a number of times, more than once, that you got a rider on the animal and the animal doesn't go anywhere. He's decided that he's not going anywhere, so he doesn't go. So if so then we could conclude that when he does go, he's going because he decided to go, not because the rider told him to go. Sometimes you have independent thinking animals.
Okay. It's my experience, because I used to ride horses quite a lot, and there's an expression to give the horse his head, which means just leave him alone, he'll go where he wants to go, which is back to this table where the food is.
Okay. Whereas if you got a manhig, he's pulling the animal along, and I think it's easier to say that in that case, if the animal does go along, in other words, you might ask, 1 second, a guy might try to pull the animal along, and he doesn't budge. So what's the difference between the manhig and the oshev? But maybe we have to say that's, even though that's true, but when the manhig does pull the animal along, the animal is going along. It's more easy to say that the animal is going along because the guy is pulling him along. It's more clear that the reason he's going is because he's pulling him along. Whereas if the guy is sitting on top riding, it's not 100% clear that the animal is going because the rider is there.
Agreed.
Okay, Ashikoya.
Thank you, Rabbi.
All the best, everybody.
Have a
great day. Alan.
Lou?
Feel better.
Lou, not till Sunday, all right? Lou?
Right, I'm going today, but I won't get you. I won't pick you up.
Yeah, okay, so not till Sunday, and you do more rest.
All right. Have a great Shabbos.
Yeah, you too. All right, thanks. Everybody have a good Shabbos.
Amen. Okay.